Beautiful humans, it's been a while. 6 months since I posted an episode, and today I'm not in the studio. I'm spontaneously recording this from my car. I've got the waves rolling in front of me, the beach is right here. And this weekend has not gone to plan in any way. I was out for a surf not long ago and cracked my board. I got caught on the rocks and then I kind of slipped on the rock and cracked my board. Brand new board. I've taken it to go and get fixed now, and it is what it is. At least I'm in one piece. But today's episode has come about spontaneously, and it's for those who are going through that messy in-between phase in life where things are confusing. Maybe there's conflict, maybe there's tension, maybe there's uncertainty, and maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're in the middle of that messy stage that we all can go through sometimes in life. I hear you. I feel you, and this episode today is for you. And as always, I'm not here to posture as someone that's got life all figured out, like I've got all the answers. No, I'm here to share what is real, what's true for me, as someone that is living it myself. Over the last 6 months, I've taken time to just step back completely, to take my foot off the pedal, take my foot off the gas, and recalibrate, and to actually live life and to be in life. And I've finished writing my book. And since finishing my book, this internal drive within me is, all right, now it's on to the next thing. It's time to record the audiobook. And sometimes I've just got to tell myself to slow the fuck down. Life is here now. I get to enjoy it now. Not when I get to some distant timeline of the future, when I finish a creative project. No, I'm learning to really be with myself right now, to be grateful for who I am, where I am, and even the shitty things that I'm dealing with in life. I'm learning to be grateful for that as well, and to see that as an opportunity and an invitation to love myself in a deeper way. Today, I want to kick this episode off with a quote that resonates with me. It's a Theodore Roosevelt quote. I'm not going to try and recite the whole thing, but it's about the man in the arena. And it's something along the lines of, it's not the critic who matters, it's the man in the arena who stumbles, who fails, who falls, who dares to be in the arena in the first place. And the reason I think this quote is interesting is because I've been both the man that's in the arena and the critic on the sideline. And lately, over these last 6 months, I've been in the arena of my own life. I've chosen to step back from social media, from posting, mainly because I needed to devote my full attention to writing my book, because it was just too exhausting to try and keep up creating content whilst also living my life, working a full-time job, serving my clients, being in a relationship, being a family member. There was a lot of hats that I was wearing, and I realized that social media for me had become another trap. You hear a lot of people talk about you've got to stop consuming content and start creating content, become a creator. And that is great. I see a lot of value in creating content and expressing yourself and sharing your message, a message that comes from your heart. But when that becomes just another trap, another distraction, that's when it can become problematic. So one of the big reasons I took that step back was, yes, so that I could finish my book, and I've finished it, and I'm proud of it, and I'm excited to share it with you. But I also took that step back to focus on the relationship that I was in and to really address what was coming up within that relationship. And sadly, that relationship no longer exists. And there's a part of me that feels like it failed, it didn't work out. There's this story, this narrative that I have that it didn't work out. And it's been hard to go through that. And I've had to give myself the space to acknowledge what I've gone through with that. And I'm the kind of guy that tries to hold everything all together, that tries to be everything that I can to support other people and help them be their best. But I've also come to a place in my life where I realize that I can only do so much. My dad has a fantastic saying. He always used to say to me growing up, because he's from the country, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink the water. You can only do so much and be so much, but someone else has got to meet you where you are. Someone else has got to accept you for who you are and not how well you can perform and not the potential that you can live up to. And at the end of the day, it's not my responsibility to alleviate something within someone else. And we're all on our own journey as individuals. We're all on our own journey. So I encourage you, if right now you feel confused, if you feel stuck, if you feel alone, and isolated and like no one really understands you, I acknowledge you. I invite you to acknowledge that you feel that way, because awareness is an important piece. And in the self-improvement space, in the healing space, people talk about being self-aware and emotionally intelligent and attuned. And all of that is an absolute gift. That is so important, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. It's like, what's the next step? It's great to be aware, but after awareness, in my opinion, comes acknowledgement. All right, I'm aware that I'm feeling this way. I'm aware that I have this unhealthy pattern. I'm aware that maybe I'm doubting myself and holding myself back and not bringing my voice forward and expressing my truth. I'm going to acknowledge that. I'm going to accept that. And then what am I going to do about that? Well, I'm going to commit to speaking up when something doesn't feel right. I'm going to own my desires, what I believe I'm worthy of, what I really want in life. That's not too much to ask for. So if you're going through something in life right now, be aware of it, accept it, acknowledge it. But also remember that this isn't the end. It's just a season, and we go through different seasons for different reasons. So that's why this weekend, I came down here for a solo weekend. It's a long weekend here in Canberra. And I went out, I was planning to surf a lot because I don't get to work on my surfing that much being in the city. But I've had a pretty horrible couple sessions and cracked my board. I was so angry and upset, and I was thinking, why do I even bother? Why do I care? Why am I out here? What's the point? And there were so many surfers out there as well. It was so crowded. But then I reminded myself that it's okay. It's okay. And that crack in my board was almost life reflecting back to me these cracks within myself. And it's okay to crack yourself open and to feel confused and upset and frustrated and alone. It's okay. It's important to embrace that. But at the same time, remember and acknowledge that that's not the end. There is always going to be another season that's coming. And that's not to say that you are always looking for the next thing, because that can sometimes be me. I go from finishing my book, a project that has taken me 8+ months, deep work, hundreds of hours, recording voice memos, writing and bringing it all together in a cohesive way and refining. And it was mentally exhausting and draining. And there were so many times where I thought about just quitting and letting it go. And then I finished it, and I noticed my inner self already after the next thing. All right, let's record the audiobook now. And so that's why I believe there is so much value in sitting in the discomfort, embracing it, being with it. It's not to be fixed. It's not to be solved. It's not to be figured out. It's to be embraced. There's a lesson and a blessing within everything in life if you choose to see that, even in all the hard, difficult moments. And so this breakup that I've gone through recently, it has hurt my heart. And it's hurt to see my ex-partner hurt as well. But at the same time, it's been necessary. It's been necessary. And I don't necessarily have to believe in that story that it didn't work out and it failed, because again, coming back to the man in the arena, at least I tried. At least I gave it my absolute all. At least I didn't give up. At least I continued to show up and devote myself to trying to work on that particular relationship. I was in the arena. Love involves risk. What is love without risk? There's always the risk that it may not work out. But does that mean it's not worth at least taking that risk? At least trying? I think it's a risk worth trying. I don't regret that at all. It's helped me clarify what I really value and how important it is for me to live in alignment with those values and to not settle for anything that isn't in alignment with those values. So I invite you to reflect on your own life and consider what you value, what is meaningful to you. And are you allowing yourself to live in alignment with those values? Are you allowing yourself to go after things in life that reflect those values? Are you settling in your life right now for things that don't reflect those values? So for me, taking action has not been that difficult. I understand, but at the same time, I don't understand someone that is very unmotivated and someone that doesn't do anything. Because for me, I genuinely wake up each morning and I can't lay in bed. I lay in bed and I do a prayer, and within 5-10 minutes of waking up, I'm up, brewing a coffee, ready for the day. And that's just the way that I operate. And everyone's different and unique, and that's fine. But for me, taking action has never been the difficult part. But what I think is very important, and something that people tend to overlook, is taking aligned action. Action that is aligned with your values, and action that is high leverage. So there's some things in life that you can do that may not be the best use of your time. And depending on who you are and where you are in your life, working might be a great use of your time. And on the other hand, someone like me, resting is a great use of my time right now. And that's something that I find challenging. I get restless. I feel as though if I'm not producing, if I'm not achieving, if I'm not creating or going after something, then I'm falling behind. And that's my own pattern to navigate through. So I invite you to consider how you are spending your days at the moment. And are you spending your days in a way that feels good, that feels light and energizing? My therapist that I've been speaking with recently has said to me, I challenge you to do things that are light and energizing for you. And she said to me, that's going to be the hard thing for you. That's going to be hard. For you, doing the heavy stuff is easy, or it's what you're more familiar with. It's what you're more comfortable doing. Because as humans, we're naturally drawn towards what is familiar, what is comfortable, even if it doesn't serve us. So for example, that for me can be overworking, being overstimulated, always striving but never quite arriving. And so what I'm practicing, and one of the big reasons I've taken this solo weekend to come down to the coast, has been to unplug and recalibrate and reconnect and reflect on what this big season that I've just been through has really meant and taught me. Because I could go straight into the next thing, recording the audio book, and I've already started practicing that a little bit as well. But at the same time, just acknowledging how far I've come, acknowledging the fact that I've been able to publish a book. It's not out yet, but finish writing a book. That's a pretty big feat. Acknowledging the heavy heartbreak that I've gone through, that's pretty big as well. So I invite you to be where you are in this moment. I hope that this episode has resonated with you in some way or another. And if it has, I'd love to hear how it has resonated with you. Because it's not often that I do podcast episodes at all, really. This is only my second one for 2025. And this is a spontaneous one that I've done in the car. And this format has felt fairly enjoyable. So if you've enjoyed this, let me know. And maybe this will become a new format moving forward. Because that's another thing with the content creation. It became a lot about output and consistency and posting every day for the sake of posting every single day. And I even noticed myself in some podcast episodes and just content in general, performing or saying things in a way that is polarizing to increase engagement, and sometimes creating for an algorithm or an audience is exhausting and draining. So now that I'm coming back into content creation mode, I'm seeing it as self-expression, sharing what feels real for me. This is almost a form of therapy for me. It's me processing my inner world and trusting that it resonates with whoever it's meant to resonate with. So this weekend, as I said, it didn't go to plan in any way. And after that happened today, I was so bummed because I'm just a beginner surfer. I'm just learning. And me being out there in the lineup amongst all these other surfers that are locals, that are very intermediate, advanced type surfers, it's intimidating because I don't want to get in anyone's way. I don't want to cut anyone off, but I also don't want to sit back and be someone that doesn't belong. So it's been interesting. My nervous system out there has been keeping me almost in this withdrawal, avoidant kind of mode. And so today I was courageous and I said, I'm going to go right up to the lineup. I'm going to be there with everyone and I'm going to commit to a wave. And I did that. And I came off the top and stacked it, ended up on the rocks and got up and slipped on the rocks and smashed my board. And no one, I don't think anyone saw it. Even if someone did see it, it is what it is, right? It is a bit embarrassing. I am a bit bummed about it. It is a pretty new board and I'm new to this, but that's just part and parcel of life as well. Someone's got to be a beginner at some point. Everyone's got to start from somewhere. And it is humbling. So even when I started creating content in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I've just figured it out as I went. But it has been a fun journey. And I trust that as I develop as a surfer, I'm going to reflect back on these moments and smile and laugh about it. Because there's a part of me that thinks, I don't want to go back out there and surf. What's the point? It is such an effort to get the wetsuit on, to paddle out, to get smashed back by white water. It is challenging, let me tell you that. But it is worth it. There's a few beautiful waves that I've caught and I've got that taste of it. That feeling of riding a wave, catching a good wave. Nothing beats it. And I'm chasing that, just like everyone out there in the lineup is. But what this has taught me about my nervous system is that, yeah, there is a part of me that doesn't want to get in anyone's way, that wants to please and appease and let everyone else go. But there's a part of me as well that knows it's time to own my space, that knows it's time to step into the arena, to catch that wave, the 3-2-1 rule, 3-2-1, go, commit, paddle hard. If I get thrown over the top, if I nosedive, that's all right. If I smash my board on the rocks, which I've done now, that's all right as well. It is what it is. At least I'm still here. At least I'm still here to share about it. At least I got out there. Because the waves were looking pretty hectic today as well. And I stood on the shore and I thought, oh, am I going to go? Am I not going to go? And then I just had to commit. And I committed. And then all hell broke loose. So that's it. No more surfing for the rest of the week. So I thought, I've got a lot to share. I'm going to go and record a pod from the car. So thank you for listening. This has been another episode of Soul Speaks with Spack in a brand new format. If you've enjoyed it, let me know. Feel free to share it on your social media and do whatever you want to do. Just live your life because you deserve to live an epic life. We all deserve that. So have a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. This is all for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.